Hey guys, welcome to Mr. Valentin's View It and Do It. This is the final piece for A House on Mango Street, and today we're going to look at the story A House of My Own by Sandra Cisneros, and it's the second to last story in Mango Street. So to begin, I'm just going to read the story. A House of My Own. Not a flat, not apartment in back, not a man's house, not a daddy's. A house all my own, with my porch and my pillow, my pretty purple petunias, my books and my stories, my two shoes waiting beside the bed. Nobody to shake a stick at, nobody's garbage to pick up after. Only a house quiet as snow, a space for myself to go, clean as paper before the poem. So, our story of A House on Mango Street started in a very similar way. Miss Keener talked about using a description of a house by describing what it is not. And in the same craft move, Cisneros does it again. She opens up describing her future house by what it is not, right? It's not a flat, it's not an apartment in back, it's not a man's house, it's not a daddy's. And in this moment, we're starting to visualize what this house could be like. And then she brings in people into it by describing what the people are not. There's nobody to shake a stick at, nobody's garbage to pick up after. So we begin to internalize, right, that this isn't going to be crowded and that it's not going to be full of all of the garbage and all of the trash that litters Mango Street. So think about how can you describe something by what it is not. The second thing we see is repetition. And we saw repetition in hairs. But here it's used always at the beginning of the sentence, and it's used in rapid succession and then switches to a different repetition. So notice how the sentences go. Not, 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 not. Then it goes to my, then nobody, nobody. So I'm thinking about how that repetition starts to resonate and it starts to imprint images in our head. The last thing that she does is a double simile. Now we've seen similes before, but in this moment, the similes are much more concrete than the abstract and surprising similes we saw in hairs. Note the very last line. Only a house quiet as snow, a space for myself to go, clean as paper before the poem. Now, this imagery and this simile is enhanced by what she discussed earlier on. Earlier on, she talked about nobody's garbage, so it makes sense that she talks about clean as paper before the poem, right? So this double simile helps emphasize the ideas. So for today's View It and Do It, I want you to think about your 5 vignettes. And I want you to think of House My Own as kind of a final vignette. What is the story you're trying to tell in 5 mini stories? In this fifth mini story, in this final piece, can you begin by describing something by what it is not? Can you use repetition in rapid succession? And finally, can you use a double simile somewhere, maybe as a single sentence? Once you've completed the task, come see me in conference, and we'll see how you did.